This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the Filson Dry Sling Pack, which I've been testing for the past 3 weeks. If you find this video helpful, make sure you subscribe so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. Let's dive in. So the primary pack material here is an 840D nylon, and that's got a clear ether TPU on it. So that material, in my experience with it, is completely waterproof, no issues with that. And then these seams here, as you can see, there's no stitching on them. So they are, I believe, RF welded, which I think radio frequency welded. So completely waterproof seams as well, at least in my experience. And the only real place that water can sneak inside this pack is on the zippers. So this is a tie zip, T-zip, I'm not exactly sure how you say it, but I made the joke that this zipper here actually kind of reminds me of a pull start lawnmower. You gotta kind of like really yank on it to get it open. It comes with lubrication, so you can add lubricant to it, and that helps keep it waterproof, but also kind of helps it open a little bit more. But this thing is really difficult to open and close, and you really gotta make sure you close it all the way, because if there's like a little hole there at the end, water's gonna get inside, and it pretty much negates having this pack. But apart from the difficulty opening it, no water got inside while I was using it. This zipper here is from YKK, it's an AquaGuard zipper, so water in theory can sneak inside this one because it isn't completely waterproof, but that's only really if you were to submerge it for an extended period that water might get inside of there. But we've got quite a few different attachment points on this thing. We've got this little D-ring here, and that's actually where I like to attach my fishing net. On a recent trout fishing trip, I would just attach it on here, lock this carabiner up, and then it's just kind of like hanging behind you, so that way it's out of your way. But because this is I got an elastic cord, just reach behind you, grab it, you can use it, but then it's out of your way while you're like walking or whatever. If you are walking through, like if you're bushwhacking or something like that, you might need to put it in a different position or hold on to it or something like that, because it's behind you and could get stuck on trees or branches or something like that. But very versatile little D-ring there. Got another small little loop right here. I actually use this to hang it up on a little hook in the cabin I was staying at, because I tested the waterproofness of it and the back panel got wet. And if I were to hang it from this one, the back was on the wall and it wouldn't dry as quickly. So I used this one to hang it up, so that way this was kind of exposed to like some wind passing through. We had a little fan to dry it off, and it actually dried off pretty quickly. On this side here, we've got this little tab here, and then over here, another tab there. And you can use those to help you open the zipper, which is, as you saw earlier, it's pretty helpful to have those, but you can also attach the gear there if you want to. There are quite a few other places to attach gear, so you don't necessarily need to use those, but they are there. Got some pig snouts on this side. I've actually been calling these mutant pig snouts because they have an extra, normally it's just 2, so it's not really a regular pig snout because we have 3. Those are very handy for, again, attaching extra gear. You could, because there's 2 here, you could attach like your fishing pole using I don't know, definitely a lot of different things you could attach it with, but you could attach a lot of different things here. You could even attach like a water bottle here or something if you wanted to. This material is very durable, and you've got those RF welded seams again. So there's quite a bit going on here, as you can see, but it also, I think it looks pretty good. I really like the color choice. We've got a handle on this side, which is nice for grabbing and going, like maybe you're trying to, get out of the way of something, you just grab this and go. And then we have another handle here on the top, which I dig because this one has a buckle on it. So this is, all this is from Woojin, the straps on the back and up here, but you can attach this to things, or you can attach this to things. I'm not sure if I said that correctly, but it's just really easy to attach things on there, or attach this to things you couldn't normally do with a top handle. So moving on to the back panel and harness system here, we've got pretty ample padding here on the back panel, which I dig because a lot of the waterproof bags you'll see on Amazon, they don't really have much of a back panel, and this one's also really breathable, which I like a lot. As you can see, there's holes in the padding there, so just small holes to keep things kind of, air flowing through, and then we've got this mesh that covers the whole thing. And we've also got padding across the entire back panel, not just certain sections. So this thing is very comfortable. It does get a bit sweaty, but that's not really the back panel's fault. It's just how big of a bag it is. At 20 liters, this thing is pretty hefty. On the shoulder strap here, we've got the same, padding and aeration, the holes there you can see, and that same mesh as well. So this is pretty comfortable. It is very wide here at the top, so if you have a smaller frame that might dig in a little bit, it wasn't really uncomfortable, but if you're wearing more layers, you can almost feel it a little bit more. Like I'm wearing a sweatshirt right now, and it could kind of like dig, like not dig, but like it pushes the sweatshirt material up onto your neck. So just something to think about. We've got quite a few attachment loops here on the shoulder strap itself, and another D-ring right there. I actually use this for my sunglasses, just kind of hung them on there. And then when it comes to the strap, we've got these hook and loop strap keepers, which are really easy to use, and there's a lot of extra straps, so you can wear this with a big layer, or if you just have a t-shirt on, you can really cinch it down. And then we have this side strap as well, which really takes a lot of the load off of the main strap when you tighten it up, and just makes it feel a little bit more comfortable and stuck onto you, and not like the pack's gonna fall off. So I'm all hooked up now, and as you can see, this has a pretty capable harness system, especially for a sling. Typically, when I think sling, I don't think, oh wow, that's gonna have a very capable harness system that's really going to support me. But this side strap really does a lot, and if your bag's a little bit lighter and it's kind of bothering you, you can just loosen it up. But if you have a heavier pack out, it really does take some of that weight off of your shoulder and just kind of disperses it around the pack. But overall, pretty comfortable here. And it just, when I first started wearing it, it was kind of hard to get used to because the weight is kind of on one side of your back. But as I've worn it longer, I've gotten used to it and find it to be very comfortable. And as I mentioned earlier, I've got the net attached to the back right now, and as you can see, I can reach it. This is the net that I have that actually has a not as stretchy cord here, so it is a little bit harder to get it where you need it to go. But at pretty much anywhere you hang it on the back, you can kind of just reach back and you have access to that. It doesn't have to be a net. It could be, if you have a water bottle or something, you can try and grab onto it too. But lots of attachment points, and although they're behind you, depending what you put there, you can still kind of reach them. So we've just got one secondary compartment to work with, and it's that YKK AquaGuard zipper I mentioned earlier. So I didn't have any problems with water getting inside of here, but obviously this AquaGuard zipper, I've had instances in the past where water got inside packs that had these zippers. So I took this thing like really out into the ruggedness of Michigan's Upper Peninsula, wading through rivers, went fishing, went waterfalling, all kinds of stuff, and didn't have any issues at all with water getting inside of here. But I just wanted to throw out there that AquaGuard zippers are typically not waterproof. They're very highly water resistant, and we've got a really nice zipper garage up here at the top there. So I've said that, let's get into this pocket now. So this is typically where I would stow my phone and wallet. Like, as I said, I wasn't, planning on this thing getting submerged. Obviously, sometimes it can happen, but it didn't happen for me, so I put my phone and wallet here most of the time. No organization inside of there, it's just a pocket. This material on the outside is very durable, but it doesn't stretch at all, so you're not gonna be able to get extra gear inside of here. You're just not gonna be able to. It's such a, durable and waterproof material that it just doesn't stretch. But you can fit, phone, wallet, keys and stuff inside of here, or if you're taking this thing fishing or, hiking or something like that, if you need a permit or you have a fishing license, you can throw that in there as well, just for quick access. But can't put big items in there. You can't put anything really that's not kind of flat in there, but it does a good job at items that maybe typically would be in your pockets, or that you just want quick access to but don't necessarily need quickly to have it inside your pocket. Moving into the main compartment, I can't help but talk about this zipper again. So we already went over that it is, kind of hard to open. You get used to it, and I think it's worth what, as long as you can open it, I think it's worth the waterproofness that this pack offers you. But loading gear in and out of here is kind of hard. As you can see, the zipper runs from here to here, so maybe 40% of the way around the pack, which I understand, the more zipper track there is, the more place for water, the zipper to fail and water to get inside. So you want to make the zipper as short as you can while also offering access to the pack. But it is pretty hard to load gear inside of here, just by nature of the materials and how small the zipper is. So that's about as far as you're getting in there to load your gear. And you kind of have to hold that, because if you let go, it's just going right back, because this material does hold its shape so well. So you kind of got to learn how to pack this thing to meet your specific needs. So this is a little camera cube that while I was hiking and fishing and stuff with this, I brought this with me just so I could have my camera and a couple lenses, just in case I wanted to take some photos. And I didn't want this thing really to be on the bottom of the pack, just because I need to access things above it more often, but this is the only place it really fit and made sense. So I had this just in there on the bottom, and that took up, obviously quite a bit of room. And then I had some of the things I wanted to access more on the top, but that's just kind of what you get with this one. Like, I would have rather maybe it been up here, but I couldn't do that because of where the zipper was. And then I've got my water bottle inside of here. I actually had this attached with a carabiner on the outside for a while, but when it's full and it's kind of like sloshing around, it's pretty heavy and you can really feel it on your pack. This isn't the heaviest pack out right now, so especially with that being a lot of weight, you could kind of feel it moving around a little bit. And I've just got a little tackle box with trout lures in it that I took up to the UP inside there. I also had that. I had quite a number of carabiners working for me. This was on the outside as well on this little hook here when I didn't have the net on there. And then a packable rain jacket from Decathlon. I really like, so as you can see, there's a little space up here that's kind of hard to access, and it's kind of hard to pack it as well. So typically I would kind of pack out the lower half, and then I would shove this rain jacket up there and then kind of fill the difference between the lower stuff and the rain jacket, because this really fits nicely up here and it just kind of uses that space that would otherwise not be utilized. So something soft like this, maybe gloves, hat, sweatshirt, kind of shove it up there so that way you're using that space and you don't have any wasted space up there. And then I've actually got a sling inside of here. So hear me out, this thing is pretty big and cumbersome, and sometimes you don't necessarily want to take this wherever you're going. So a few times when I was fishing, I would drop this off like near, like there'd be like a rocky outcropping into the river, and I wanted to go out there, but I didn't necessarily want to bring all of this. So I would just bring this, and this had, you know, a couple fishing tools inside of it. And I would just bring this with me, and I could also attach my net to this if I wanted to, and then leave this with, you know, the rest of my stuff that doesn't necessarily need to come out everywhere with me over there, and then just take that. You don't have to do that, but I found that to work really well for me. So now you can see the inside with nothing inside of it. We do have this mesh pocket here, and I left the lube in here, the lubricant for the zipper here. So this is what they use. I've only lubed it up once since I've had it, and you just kind of put it up here near where the, might be able to see a little bit of residue there from it. You put it on there, and then it kind of just goes all throughout the zipper, and it has a full, you know, instructions on how to do that inside of here. So that is something nice that comes included with this. But you really want to take care of that zipper, because as soon as you stop taking care of that zipper and if that becomes faulty, this is no longer waterproof. So you've kind of defeated the purpose of owning this, unless you just really like how it looks. But moving back to this pocket, it's got a nice little Filson logo on there. And this mesh is stretchy, which I really like having stretchy mesh here, because that is the only place to lock your down inside of here. So if you have a few extra things you want to lock down and that was not stretchy mesh, you're not going to be able to fit them inside of there. But because that is stretchy mesh, you can do that, and then you can zip it up. And that's just a good place to keep things, like if you know you're not going to need your phone and wallet and stuff for a long time and you want to keep them safe, throw them in there, zip it up, and then you're ready to go. They're going to be safe on there, and you know where they are, and you know that they're safe. But overall, I really liked using this thing, but it's a very kind of niche use case. You really need to have that waterproofness, or you need that waterproofness, because if you don't, it just kind of seems a little bit like a waste, but very fun using it and very fun for adventure trips. So there you have it, the Filson Dry Sling Pack. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.